G'day folks, today I've got another removal from packaging. Well, this is another puzzle from Cubes. Huge thanks to Cubes again for sending this over for me to review and for you to see me fumble through it. This is, of course, the crazy Octahedron from MF8, but it's version 3, allegedly. So, a little while back, I did a removal from packaging of version 1. There's actually version 1, 2, and 3. And there's a lot of interest in what exactly is the difference between them, all that sort of thing. So just refreshing, there's the same sort of thing. It's the original plastic color. I don't really care anymore. I'd rather have a puzzle than not have a puzzle. And you remember last time the turning was absolutely sublime. So far the turning is absolutely sublime. That's, in a sense, that's slightly better than the other one because it's a little bit firmer. It's still so smooth. Wow, how can MF8 be so good on some puzzles and so terrible on others? I do not understand it. Anyway, there's a lot that I don't understand. Now, very quickly, let's have a look. And you can see on version 1, the edge goes right down to the center here. So if you recall, version 1 had the edge that went directly to the center. Version 2 was the one where, if you like, this edge was just a bit higher than the center. So you kind of would turn the face here and it would not even touch the center. And the reason I didn't think of getting version 2, because my understanding is that is the same as the crazy octahedron that was released a number of years ago. Version 3 is the interesting one. Version 3 is the one that looks different because on this one, when you turn, you can see it's actually moving the center. And that's not going to happen on version 1 and 2. So my take on that would be this is probably going to be the more difficult one simply because of that fact. So again, I'm not entirely sure how all this works. These are still set up in terms of 0 faces. And the other thing is that I've been told how to change the centers. So apparently you can change the centers. You remember last time I concluded I didn't know if you could. I couldn't actually work out how to do it. And somebody wrote in and basically told me, well, I was pretty close to where I got to. So of course I'm going to see if I can do it on this one. Obviously the colors are the same, the stickers are the same. As I said, the turning, absolutely fantastic. What I think you've got to do is what I kind of started doing last time. Oh, at this point, I've basically disassembled the thing. I don't know if that was necessary or not, but my understanding is this is the thing that needs to be changed. I can't even unscrew that. Well, this is a waste of time, wasn't it? Well, here I am back completely assembled again after basically having to disassemble it. And the bad news is I got no clue about turning this into a one face. Now, look, I'm sure it's possible, but my feeling is this. If it's this difficult to do, what's the point? So here's my question. Has it actually ever been advertised as turns into 0, 1 faces? I'm not sure it has, but a comment from a previous viewer says that you can actually absolutely do it. So I guess the thing is, maybe they haven't really advertised it because it's so difficult to do. If it's that difficult to do, why bother? What we want is a puzzle where you flip off the center cap, unscrew the screw, take it out, boom. Now, I fully understand that simply may not be possible with a puzzle like this. Fine, no problem. So for me, this puzzle is not really about making a planetary series because honestly, I was just about down to completely disassembled and I couldn't even undo the screw to the bit that I thought I had to undo. Maybe that was wrong, but I don't know. Much too difficult to be bothered with. But having said that, let's forget about the 0, 1 faces. Let's forget about the planetary series. This turns fantastically, as I said earlier, and on its own as a standalone puzzle, it's pretty awesome. So again, recapping the difference, the 3 and the 1, this was the 1 where the cut goes right through the center. So there is no centerpiece at all. If you compare this one here, we've got the cut of that edge going below, so it creates the center. So you'll also notice couple of other differences caused by that. So the edge up here on the one, you've still got the edge. You've then got quite a large, what do you call that? Piece of pie or cake or something. Actually, that's a sector. There you go. You've got that thing under the edge, which is subtly different to the thing that's under the corner, but that's fine. They look the same all around. But here we've got a very small one of them. And then under this part, we've got a completely different type of shape. We also have in the middle a little centerpiece. Now that centerpiece is a tiny standalone centerpiece. It's quite different to these pieces, even though it probably looks the same. Well, I'm just looking at it now, and to me, it does actually look different. This one just seems to have very straight lines, whereas this one's quite, well, it's not quite, but it's more curvy. So that is what's going on. As I said earlier, when you turn, that center moves away. So if you're just looking to buy one of these things, I would absolutely go for the version 3, I think, because I suspect it will be more difficult than the version 1. And if you're into, you know, that sort of thing, that's great. The version 2, again, is just, as far as I can tell, basically the same as the octahedrons that they released quite a few years ago. So great puzzle in turning. I really do not understand why they can't produce puzzles like this all the time. I'm going to give it a bit of a scramble now. I've got really no clue about these things. Like, I'd be approaching this like everybody else, just sort of thinking, well, what kind of, oh, look at that. That's kind of, I hadn't really noted that before. Can you do that on this one? Yes, you can. Okay, fine. I still hadn't noted it. So I wonder whether it's really just still that turn and that turn. It just looks like a slice turn, but I suspect that slice turn might be quite useful in a solved situation. Now, let's see if I can make this jumble. Just kidding. I don't think it's going to jumble. And I don't think it's going to do any sort of shape shifting. I could be wrong. These corners, of course, are not trivial. They don't twist. But you can see, you know, straight away you've got, at the end of every turn, you still have it looking like it was. You still have like a center piece. But obviously it's not a fixed center, so it's going to be a little bit trickier to deal with, I would suspect. So this is the version 3. I'm not going to be reviewing the version 2. And once again, I really want to thank Cubes for sending these puzzles over. It's very, very generous of them, and you can show your appreciation, obviously, by purchasing from Cubes and by using the link with my little ID thing in the description of my videos. That makes a big difference, and I thank you for it. So the MF8 Great Turning Octahedron version 3. This has been another removal from packaging.